Well, buckle up. So you know the script, we're in the midst of a global pandemic, most places are on lockdown and we're all bored off our tits, so what better time than for me to start making YouTube videos about games again? Well, it was that or starting an informed podcast with no subject or theme or guests or standards. Anyway, the plan is for me to go through my entire console and computer collection one by one, talk about the how and when and why I got them, and then talk about some of the games that are my favourites. Not necessarily the best games for that console, but the ones that mean the most to me. With that in mind, we're going to start off with my first and my favourite, the Sega Master System. In fact, we are talking specifically about this Sega Master System right here, with its card slot, its FM sound, and covered in stickers and shit. So the Master System is the first console I ever saw or played, and this would have been Christmas time at my cousin's house, somewhere between 1988 and 1990. And I know it's got to be around then because I remember being very excited about getting a Master System before I ever got excited about Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, I must have pestered my parents for a full calendar year before finally getting a Sega Master System the next Christmas. This particular model came with both Hang-On and Safari Hunt, and even came with a light phaser, so looking back I have to thank my parents for splashing out in the fancy version. They also got me the Ghostbusters game, and that was a pretty smart move because at that age I was Ghostbusters nuts. I mean, Turtles were good and all, but Proton Packs for life. Interestingly, the stickers I mentioned earlier are from the UK version of Sonic the Comic, which I bought religiously every 2 weeks for years. And fun fact, the Streets of Rage strip was written by none other than Mark Millar, who's now famous for writing everything. Now, my parents were hardly what you would call early adopters when it came to games consoles, so I had the Master System all the way up until the end of its lifespan and even beyond. That meant I got to have a look at all the really interesting ports of arcade games and 16-bit games that people tried to squeeze into the Master System, and those are actually some of my favourites. Let's start with the Master System version of Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, I mentioned religiously buying Sonic the Comic for years, and in truth, as a kid I was nuts about Sonic. I can even draw Sonic from memory to this day, 30 odd years later. What I love about the 8-bit version of Sonic is that it's different from the Mega Drive version, but it still feels authentic. The physics feel right. Sonic moves, runs, accelerates, decelerates, jumps and spins much the same as he would on the Mega Drive version. It just feels right. Feels a lot better than Sonic fucking 4 does, actually. You get some of the same stages as the Mega Drive version, like the Green Hill Zone or the Scrap Brain Zone, and you even get that iconic Green Hill Zone melody. Even the designs for Dr. Robotnik and his army of badniks are the same as they are on the Mega Drive version, and it all comes together to make Master System owners feel like they're getting a proper, solid Sonic game, not just some kind of cynical cash-in or cast-off. And while that was all important to me, there are some differences that I love about this game as well. I really like how you have to explore the zones to actually find the Chaos Emeralds, instead of just going to the special stage for them. You get some exclusive stages like the Bridge Zone or the Jungle Zone, although sadly they did bring the Labyrinth Zone over as well. You also get some different playtypes such as auto-scrolling levels or vertical levels that you didn't see in the Mega Drive version. And that's what makes it so special for Master System owners. We didn't just get a decent, solid, authentic Sonic game. We got our own decent, solid, authentic Sonic game. With Golden Axe Warrior, I'll be honest, I got it thinking it would just be a straight up sequel to Golden Axe. And it was not. Turns out it was a straight up rip-off of The Legend of Zelda. It actually took me a really long time to appreciate how good this game was. At that age, I didn't know what an RPG was. I'd been raised on a steady diet of platformers like Sonic, beat-em-ups like Golden Axe, or shooters like R-Type. That being said, once I eventually figured out what kind of game it was and stopped trying to play it like an action game, I actually started to really enjoy it. Looking back, I can finally appreciate that amongst other things, it's fucking huge. And not just that, almost every screen has some sort of tiny detail or some kind of secret for you to discover that helps or hinders you in your quest. Hell, some people just straight up fucking mug you. I know I said that Golden Axe Warrior was just a rip-off of Zelda, but it's really well done. Now, I know I said that Alex Kidd in Miracle World was the first console game I ever played, but it's not the best Alex Kidd game. Alex Kidd in Shinobi World is by far the best Alex Kidd game, alright? It's better than the Lost Stars, it's better than the Enchanted Castle, and High Tech World we simply don't talk about. As well as being a solid, fun platformer, Alex Kidd in Shinobi World has a few tricks that elevate it from good to great. In particular, the puzzles that make you rethink how to use those ninja abilities that got given to you by some random ghost are what make the game more interesting than your standard platformer. Also, for die-hard Sega fans, there are loads of references to the original Shinobi game, and that's because this game was originally just going to be called Shinobi Kid before Alex Kidd went and yeeted his ears all over it. So I know what you're thinking. How the fuck did Mortal Kombat end up in the Master System? By the time the home versions of Mortal Kombat came out in 1993, the Master System was dead. I mean, Doom came out in 1993, Virtua Fighter came out in 1993, the PlayStation was just a year away. So when I found out that the Master System was going to get a version of Mortal Kombat, I got really excited. I mean, for someone who only had a Master System, it felt like I was involved, like I was included, like I wasn't entirely behind the curve of technology. Now, is it a great version of Mortal Kombat? Christ no, it's slow, it's choppy, the controls aren't always responsive and everything looks a little bit like roadkill. But it is playable, and you can get blood. To be honest, it doesn't matter that it's not the greatest version of Mortal Kombat, because it's the version of Mortal Kombat that I got, and as someone who only had a Master System, the fact that I got a version of Mortal Kombat was amazing enough in itself. The fact that this exists in any playable form is amazing. Let's be real, Wonder Boy 3 The Dragon's Trap is the best game on the Sega Master System. Hands down. No argument. Fucking fight me. I love how huge in scope it is, or how every single area is tailor-made for the powers of whatever animal you've been turned into now. Or how every single area's got its own distinct theme and aesthetic. Or how the Lion Man's Shogun stage can fuck off because it's so hard. And that alone would be enough, but the best thing is how, as you gain access to more powers, you can double back to areas that you'd visited before and find things that were previously cut off to you. It's absolutely no wonder to me that it got remade, and the remake looks absolutely stunning. The best thing though isn't just that I had this as a kid or that I loved it as a kid or as an adult today. It's that it was recommended to me as a child by an employee of Electronics Boutique in the Ford Shopping Centre in Glasgow. Mate, you went above and beyond that day, and I owe you a debt. Although you're probably in your mid-50s by now. So, there you go, the Sega Master System, the console that got me into this, into gaming, and here I am 30 years later. Which means I've got 30 years of consoles left to talk about. Which is a good thing, because who the fuck knows when this lockdown's going to lift. Stay safe.